This is day 4 of 365. So I've been working to do better at this whole video thing. And the problem is that every time I think that I've got somewhat of a handle on it, I end up having to take a step to a new platform. So TikTok took me about 6 months before I started seeing any real traction. That was a continuous challenge to figure out what people were looking for, how I wanted to approach that process, figure out that I wanted to script my videos, use a teleprompter, that kind of thing. And then after a bit, I realized TikTok might go away, so I decided I wanted to start porting over to Instagram Reels. And it took me quite a while to figure out, let's be fair, I still don't really understand how Instagram Reels works, but I've been porting over my TikTok content from there. And about 2 months ago, it started popping off. I had one video, science fiction books to avoid for beginners, that really did well. Like, it really kind of blew up on there. And I've been seeing really good engagement with the other videos that I've been putting up. But my long-term goal has always been to engage more with YouTube. My content fits YouTube more. It's more long form. A lot of my video series on TikTok have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts long. And so it really would work out better if it was on a platform that really supported that. The problem is that I really don't have a clue what I'm doing. And I'm trying to piece this together as I go. And what's really not helping is that I am trying to learn a couple different skills all at the same time. One of the big ones is videography and photography. So I wanted to level up my video capabilities on YouTube, and so I received a gift, a Sony ZV-E10, which is a great camera for vlogging. It's a great camera for this kind of stuff. I know that there are people who do really cool stuff with it, but going from filming on a phone using just the basic settings to filming on a camera, which it is just an absolute dense scope of menus. Like, I don't know what half this stuff is. And trying to learn a new skill like that, there's two elements to it that drive me kind of crazy. One is that the skill videos that are out there, the books and the resources that kind of teach you how to use a camera, how to take good video, how to set them up, kind of assume a base level of understanding on your part, which is fine. I understand why they do that. But I go into 90% of these videos and I have no clue what they're talking about right off the jump. I'm starting to learn. I'm starting to get a bit better at it. And as I continue to develop these, I will continue to get better. I'm sure of that. The other element is whether or not I want to keep using a teleprompter. And I'm torn on this because on the one hand, I really like scripting my videos. I like kind of polishing the language. It gives me a sense of confidence that I can bring to the videos, where I can incorporate my sense of humor, incorporate the flow that I like to use, and I have that security blanket of a teleprompter there. On my phone, I use the teleprompter app on CapCut, but for this camera, I actually bought a full-size teleprompter. The problem is that is not something that I'm going to be able to use just anywhere. I'm in my bedroom/office right now, and the teleprompter that we got, it's a newer teleprompter. It's way too big for the setup that I've gotten here. So if I'm going to use that, I have to go out to the living room. We live in a small apartment. We don't have a dedicated studio space. So every time I want to record out there, I have to set everything up, get all the lighting right, get everything set up, record, and then tear everything back down and have it put up. And that's become really frustrating. And the other side of things is that I do wonder if things like this, things like these vlogs, are going to come across more genuine if I'm not reading off a teleprompter. And honestly, I don't really know what the best route forward is. I am new enough at this YouTube thing that I have no idea what's going to click here, whether it's going to look anything like what has worked for me on TikTok, what has worked for me on Instagram Reels. But I'm going to continue trying to kind of just feel my way through this. If you have suggestions for ways I can approach this, drop them below. These vlogs are just kind of my daily attempt to kind of sort through some of the things that I'm going through, some of the thoughts that are in my head. And right now I am trying to figure out how to take the step into having more actual content that actually focuses on things like writing techniques, self-publishing advice, book reviews. I want to do more indie book reviews here on this channel. So I don't know. This is something that I'm going to continue to try to work on, continue to try to figure out, and approach this from the perspective of understanding that it took me 6 months to really figure out how to engage an audience on TikTok. And I need to be prepared that it's going to take me just as long to do that here on YouTube. In other topics, I got the first look at the cover designs that Melody Stout is putting together, and I am so excited. I got a message from her last night that said she had a dream of a very, very wild approach that she wants to mock up for me and see what I think. And the writer in me just loves the idea that I'm going to have a cover design that could have possibly come out of a dream. So I'm very excited about that, and I'm hoping that we'll see something in the next few days that I can start showing people. But day after tomorrow, I'm going to be sending out art copies, and I am apprehensive. I think I've mentioned this book took a lot out of me. It fought me quite a bit, and I think that it's a very, very good book, but there's always this fear of that moment where you take what you've been working for and you put it in the hands of other people. There's a sense of letting go of control, because it's no longer my choices that determine what happens next. It's how people respond to this thing that I've worked for a year on. So, yeah. And then finally, we did have a little incident yesterday that's going to slow down my writing a bit, because I have a new accessory. I was walking my dogs. We have 2 dogs, Pickle and Patton. We're also hosting a 3rd dog, my best friend's dog, Charlie. I decided to take them all out at once. They saw another dog. Pickle ran towards it. Charlie ran towards it, but they both wrapped behind my back and twisted my arm up, and I dislocated my elbow. So I got to wear this for a couple weeks. And needless to say, this is making typing a little bit of a pain. I'm playing around with some transcription services, and we'll see how that works out. But I tried getting stuff set up so I could actually type with it, and it was pretty painful. So I may be forced to take a little bit of a break, which is something that some friends have been telling me I needed to do. So I don't know. Maybe I'll use that time to think more about how I want to approach YouTube, to maybe storyboard out some ideas. I do not know. But in any event, I hope each and every one of you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.